Alright, hello everyone. So this video is going to be a kind of tutorial or something, or a how-to a fish solo stealth, as mentioned in the title already. The reason why I'm doing that is because there have been many requests from people asking me how I stealth through the heists, like how they look so easy for me, etc., etc. So I finally decided to make a global video of how to kind of introduce you into that deathwish solo stealthing thing. Since overkill seemed to less likely change stealthing by now, so it pretty much seems to stay at the current stealthing as it is. So hopefully this will stay like that, and then the video will be stay longer and not get outdated so fast. Alright, so first off, before we're going into any heist or something, if you want to stealth, you have to watch out for performance. So the first thing you actually gotta do is select certain heists. I highly recommend the Alessia heist because there you can check best for your performance. With performance, I mean if you're getting detected, e.g. by a guard, the detection bar should raise constantly and should not hop to 20% and 40% or something. So it should be more or less raise up in 2% steps or 3% steps, so it looks more or less fluently. Because if you don't have that, then guards will the entire detection will just bug out entirely, and you'll have a hard time stealthing through. So I highly recommend you that you get into the heist, the Alessia heist, and then go into options, go for some guard, play the normal or something, go check a guard or a camera or something, check how fast the camera detects you, then go into options, check the video, and first off, I would say work with the shadow quality, because shadow quality has a high effect. For me, all lower shadow qualities, like low, very low, and medium, they have the same effect, they have no changes. However, if I go to high or even higher up, then as you can see I'm already a bit frame dropping there, even though I'm not even in a heist now. Oh, oops, that was the wrong thing. So once I'm down to medium, it kind of works a bit. Medium is the shadow quality that works for me, and there's no difference if I go lower than that, but there's a difference if I go higher, so I keep it at medium quality. So medium is pretty much decent if you're running into any performance issues. If you have a super high-end graphics card anyways, then you don't have to care about that anyways. Same thing goes with the texture quality, it can have a high effect. However, the anisotropic filtering, the animation quality, and the frame rate limit are less likely something that will really change the performance on stealthing. And I highly recommend to put frame rate limit to the top. That's just my thing, because if you put it lower, then also detection is going to be a bit lower. So you should play at least at 60 frames per second, or maybe 45, 60. This should be something you should really go for. Do not play on 30, because just don't do it. Because if you look at my arrow now, it kind of looks really weird if I'm playing at 30. Now at 60, it's just way smoother, and at 135 anyways. So I really highly recommend to put up the frame rate limit at the top. Now with the flush CPU, etc., you probably gotta test that thing on your own. Wheezing, take that thing off. It usually, if you activate it, you have some mouse problems, like that the mouse is somehow delayed for some reason, so take that off. Depth of field, I highly recommend to take off as well, because if you have that on, in further ranges, when you look in further ranges, pretty much looks like you kind of, I don't know how to say that. It looks really weird, you can barely see anything at very high ranges. Flush CPU, as told, I have no idea. Use HQ weapons, you really don't have to. If you have a high-end graphics card, sure, go for it. I just don't. I don't see a point. And then, people also kept noticing that my FOV is pretty high. Yes, it is at the top, as you can see, because I want to know what's around me. The higher your field of view is, the better control you have over the area you're looking to, because there's a higher range to the right and left side of your view. I really highly recommend to putting that up to the top as well. However, that's your decision. It really doesn't matter. Use acceleration camera effect. That's like that head bobbing. Yeah, head bobbing, as you can see at the top. It makes your camera shake. So that's up to you as well. And streaming check, I think that's only for. Oh yeah, that affects your HDD or SDD, whatever you have. I really haven't tested that thing here as well, so I have no idea. So yeah, that's pretty much all you have to know actually. I think everything else would just stay. Oh yeah, if you're still running in performance issues, put down resolution to 720 like I do. It still works, it's still good quality. But if you're really running into issues, which I had a lot on 1080p, just put it down to 720p, it's still fine. The only problem is that you will have that black border around the window. You cannot see that in the video. I don't know why though, but there's like that huge border around. I think there's even a way to take it off, but I never really like went for it. I just kept playing on 720 with that big fat black border. Effect quality, that doesn't really affect your performance at all. At least it did not for me. Same goes for brightness anyways. Brightness should be at the top, so you see more in dark zones. So I guess that's all about the options of performance before you can actually even go into stealthing. Alright, then next thing's going to be your inventory. You will of course have to set up something that like kind of universally works for heists. You can build it individually skill trees. However, I have built up one stealth tree that works out fine for me. And I think I'll just first go into the skills as well. So, asking about infamy, you definitely need one. I think that one's alright. Right, 2, 3, probably. Yeah, I think you need 4 infamy level. Not quite sure about that. I just highly recommend to go to Infamy 5 anyways, for the reduction of the 10% skill points used or needed to get up to a higher tier on all of the trees. I think it's Infamy 4 or 5, I'm not quite sure about that. I just highly recommend to go to Infamy 5 anyways, or actually keep on going if you want to get more achievements anyways. So first off, starting off with the Mastermind tree. What do you want to go for? If you're a guy who doesn't like killing civilians like I do, you want to go for Cable Guy anyways, so you get more ties and you cable tie hostages faster. It's not always required though. Like, you can sometimes just blow them with your shotgun, whatever you like, or push them, how people always call that. So that's pretty much up to you. I keep going with Cable Guy, avoid killing civilians. It makes more fun stealthing through the heist. It's making them sometimes like way harder to actually being able to complete them. Then we need more stamina of course, so we just take Endurance Ace, so that we can actually also get up to the higher tier 2 and 3. I'm using Control Freak because Control Freak is pretty much something you really need. It keeps the civilians down for 50% longer, as you can read there. Plus, if you're having a loud gun, or if you like use the saw or something, a loud saw, or I heard the flamethrower is currently the loudest weapon in game for whatever reason. That affects 300 meters of the area, which is pretty much all around the map all the time. You keep civilians down like everywhere. Only thing you gotta watch out though is that guards will also hear it, of course. So yeah, but if you're like on a heist like Go Bank, and you take flamethrower with you or the saw, which should be like 150 meters or something, you can like keep doubting those civilians by just using the saw on the floor. So you don't have to keep running around the areas, especially on Go Bang where they keep spawning outside the map and probably get alerted outside the map, so you can just use it that way. Then Dominator, because you probably want to cuff guards before they shoot you. And that one aced so that the power and range of your intervention increased by 50%, of course. Then Equilibrium, because I'm a lover of pistols. With that I have more accuracy, which is sometimes really recommended having. And that I can fire way faster. I will get up to that later on. Then Enforcer, just to transport a skill aced, because then you can throw backs further. It's like always recommended to have that skill. Then Technician, that we can have silent drills. So about the silent drilling, you do not need the entirely silent drills, so you don't need the silent breaching aced. The difference between 65% silent drills and 100% silent drills is only that guards will hear the drill in a range of 1 meter. However, that 1 meter is like going to be some kind of cylinder instead of a ball. If you take a look at the drill, then you put a cylinder on it that goes all the way to the bottom and all the way to the top of the map, and you put in a 1 meter radius, that's the that's going to be the noise the drill is going to create. So whenever a guard is going into that cylinder, is going to touch it, he will hear the drill and move towards it. There's a good example on Mall Crusher. If you have the safe inside a backroom store and you place that drill there, the 65% silent drill, and the guard is immediately below it, he will hear it. No other guard will ever hear it though, so they have to be right below the drill, and then they will move up the staircase and get in there. That happened to me once, only once. Anything else, like the drill skills required, down nerves of steel is just points I had to get that I can get up to tier 4 of the Technician tree. Then Sharpshooter, I have more accuracy in single shot weapons, which means actually the pistol. Rifleman is just wasting points, that's all. You could, if you want, to get the C4 Trip Mine, the Combat Engineer, to kind of have another option to like hear guards if you use those mines on walls or something. There's some people that used it on Firestarter, for example. Firestarter Day 1, where they use trip mines on the wall so they can hear and eventually even spot guards who walk through the trip mines laser. It's sometimes really helpful though, and people actually less likely use it for some reason. Asshole, it's pretty much up to you what you want to go for, if you want to waste them here, or if you don't really want the C4 here, or the trip mines actually. Then the Ghost tree is pretty much that tree that you need most. Sprinter, just to be faster and have more stamina, I think. Oh yeah, the regeneration at least is being increased. Then Dead Presidents, I did not use it anymore. You can, however, really use it. The only map where it can be helpful is 4 stores, because there you need to collect $15,000 worth of money. So you can have a kind of like slight boost with Dead Presidents there. Then Cut Burglar, so I can just jump off like non-fatal heights and never get any damage, so I don't have to worry about that. Then Cleaner to get more body bags, of course. Plus I will be able to unlock the body bag asset. Chameleon, so I can spot guards and cameras. And my concealment is going to be increased in casing modes. I have like easier walk around. Fast hands to collect bags faster, or to interact with bags faster. Always recommended. Shinobi to get more speed once again. Plus the crouch speed also being increased, which is highly recommended in stealth. Martial arts only for getting enough points for tier 4. Then Silent Killer, which will give my guns to hit my silent guns to do 15% more damage. That one's actually no longer required. It's just that the deagle has been buffed with like a lot of damage. Earlier it was doing way less damage with the silencer on, so I wasn't able to kill a guard with one shot. Now with the with the new buff of the deagle, it actually kills one guard anyways with one shot. So you no longer have to use that thing actually. But if you're like having guns that are silenced and just are not able to kill guards slightly, like because of a little bit of damage with one shot anywhere, you can have Silent Killer aced. To kill a guard, you need to do 58 damage, so just that you know. ECM specialists have 2 jammers, because why not? Then sometimes people go for overdrive. I say that's no longer required. You will be able to get it pretty much everything done without the ECM overdrive to open doors. You can just drill it or you can just lockpick it, whatever. So yeah, up to lockpicking. You have a lot of stuff to lockpick sometimes, like doors, etc. Sometimes you probably even want to crack an ATM like on the big bank or whatever, so pretty much recommend having lockpicking expert ace so that you can lockpick those things open. Or yeah, sometimes you really need it. Just can't come up with a particular instance right now. A good point actually is fire starter day too. Sometimes a safe spawns up in the office and then the only way to actually get the keycard out of it is that you have lockpicking expert aced. Otherwise it's not gonna work. Because the drill will be detected, even though it's gonna be silent. There's windows that will detect. Or like the guards will detect through the windows the drill. And camera loop aced, because camera loop comes in handy on Deathwish, because you cannot break cameras. You cannot break them, but you can jam them. That's pretty much up to you if you want to use TCM tremors or just cam loop a camera. Sometimes looping the camera, it's going to be more easy that you can save your equipment. And trust me, there's going to be a lot of situations just like the Electro heist where you want to have camera loop aced. If you're, of course, once again, not going to kill civilians. There's always a thing about not going to kill civilians. Sometimes if you like don't care about civilians, you can like waste most of the skills and just use it for something else, and you have an even more universal skill tree. Then fugitive, hidden blade aced so that people are less likely to shoot or do something while being killed. There's that 95%. But yeah, it's so yeah, it's possible to have those 5% that the guard is still shooting. Or was you're right. Daredevil, I think that one was just used to get up to the higher tier or something. Like up to the 4th tier. Because I was no longer like thinking of what I could use, so I just took something. And sometimes like you're climbing up staircases or something and then you're 20% faster, so why not? Run and gun, so you get an additional 20% movement speed as well here, aced for nonsense actually, just to get up to tier 4. Sixth Sense, pretty much a skill that is always useful, especially if you've aced. You can pick up things in casing mode, which is actually just things that you don't have to interact longer, so that you don't have to hold F to get them. So like key cards, money bundles, all those things you just instantly pick up. That can be helpful on the big bank, so you can pick up the key card already, which is lying somewhere around the offices or whatever, to the tellers or just somewhere. So I highly recommend to get this skill. Plus, if the Sixth Sense basic, you keep spotting civilians and guards every 3.5 seconds within a radius of 10 meters. That one's helpful if you're going to use a silent saw as well, e.g. on the Electro heist. You can mark guards that are above and below you, because as told, noise that is created by you is acting in a cylinder form and not a ball form. So the noise you create is always going up to count all the way to the top and all the way to the bottom of the map, no matter what. It's only like around you where it's going to be counted as those 7 meters or whatever. Like the silent saw is going to be 7 meters radius, whereas other guns are just like way louder and whatever. Then Winston Wolf to get one more bag once again. I have it aced once again because I didn't know what to take. Because I needed Undertaker. Undertaker is really helpful. You can ace it. You can ace it if you want to. Like you can remove, e.g. the camera loop aced, so you have less duration of the camera. It still works quite well. and then instead ace Undertaker. If you're especially going to kill civilians, that one's going to be helpful, so you can bag up more civilians and remove their dead bodies from sides of guards, etc. Then it's probably going to be most helpful on Firestarter Day 1 if you're just still practicing, because there's so many Mendoza that are going to be in your way. So it's highly recommended to have that one ace, so you get like 8 body bags that you can use for 10 to 12 roamers that are around there. However, as told, it's pretty much up to you. I keep going with the Undertaker basic. 1 body bag is way enough for me, because I'm usually only dealing with guards. And then there I have like 4 guards I can take out maximum. I have 5 bags, so I have a spare bag for civilian, or I don't know, just something. So yeah, that's pretty much the universal skill trees I'm using here. I will of course link that one in the video description, so you can just check it again and do your own assessment. It should be, I think, a very good start out for you guys to start out with Deathwish Stealthing. As told, you can modify it on your own. If you have better options, go over them. That's my personal one. I'm fine with it, it works for me. Then the perk deck, the only stealth perk deck is Burglar. I think you need the Clover perk deck, the Clover character DLC for that to have it. Why is it recommended? Dodge is like for nonsense. There you go with headshot damage, sometimes helpful. But the actual point is the that you can. Anything crunch. Yeah, there's like all those detection things here. You're less likely being detected and you bag up corpses faster. Then you also have the answering pages faster. That thing is going to be the most helpful, because sometimes you run into a situation where you have to kill a guard and just another guard detected him. And then you have to kill the first guard, wait a bit, kill the second guard, go answer the first pager, run to the other guy and answer the second pager. And that's a pretty short time, so that perk deck here really helps you out of that, because you have 1 more second to reach the other pager. And trust me, 1 more second is going to be extremely helpful, so I highly recommend to get that perk deck and no other. If you do not have the DLC, you can still go with Crew Chief, if I'm not mistaken. That is like increasing your shouting distance or something, giving you more stamina and stuff. Yeah, increase your shout distance by 25%. Get a little bit more health. I think that's still the only one you could like go for. Yeah, I think I would say Crew Chief's probably the one you want to go for. Instead, if you do not have the DLC. Then for the throwables, you want to go with shurikens because they can ink the guards. You will likely never use them though. You can also go with the Ace of Spades, of course, it's pretty much up to you, or the Javelin. Just for fuck's sake, don't go for any explosives, because if you randomly hit the button, you're pretty much fucked up. I would say shuriken is probably going to be the best. Also, you can have your fun with the Inside Man civilian on the Big Bang. Not the Big Bang, sorry, First World Bank. There's a lot of videos up there if you want to check out what I exactly mean. Then for melee, I recommend going with Weapon Butt. Weapon Butt is fastest. You just have the 30 concealment plus the 2 from the skill. Which is actually coming from Hidden Blade basic, by the way, I forgot to mention that. Everything else is like way slower, it does probably do more damage, and you actually never need to kill guards or civilians if you're melee likely. You're probably going to shoot them anyways. You only need the Weapon Bud to like destroy things. For a good example, Maw Crusher, where you have to destroy things worth 50k. So Weapon Bud's going to be the fastest there. You only need 1 hit, etc. So I just recommend going with Weapon Bud. Then, for stealthing, you need a shotgun, you need a silenced shotgun, and there's only 2 or 3 shotguns. I don't think that the locomotive is still worth it. Most people go with the Judge, which is going to be a secondary shotgun, secondary gun shotgun. Why? Because it's super fast, does a lot of damage, and it just works. And it's going to give you 30 concealment. If you have one of the skins, I think Pixel skin is called, and get lucky, you get even another +1 concealment on it. But that's not really, like, you don't really need it. Then, however, I have no idea what primary gun you should go for, because all of the primary guns are just, my opinion, bullshit for me. So I just never take those. Instead, I'm going with the Deagle pistol as secondary, as told earlier, because it was doing the exact damage required to kill a guard with 1 shot. But now they buffed it, so it's like killing 4 guards with 1 shot, or 3 guards at least. So you no longer need Silent Killer, and you can actually go with any other pistol that has silencer on. They're doing less damage, but I think with Silent Killer and eventually some other things, you might be able to kill guards with 1 shot. Not quite sure though, you still gotta experiment there. Maybe doing some other skills or getting certain mods on the gun or whatever. I'm still fine with my Deagle pistol. I think if you look at that, I'm getting down to detection risk level 4. And there's only a slight difference between detection risk level 3 and 4. There is a difference, you will notice it sometimes, but it's so slight for me, I just keep working with detection risk 4. And as told, going with the Raven shotgun, it is way slower than the Judge, but as told, it gives me more opportunities for the secondary gun to pick. Then what mods you should attach to the guns. Raven is pretty much default. Just wanna go for it. Like, you can use the buckshot to do more damage. Still works pushing the people. Don't use any other ammunition though, they do not work. It's only the 000 buckshot that works. For any other mod, you just wanna go for plus concealment all the time. So here we go with +4. Then you need a silencer, of course. Gadget that has nothing, no concealment mice, because every other mod here has -2 or -1, and sights as well. Oh, you can use flip up sight, which is going to give you +2 concealment in fact. Then for my Deagle pistol, I got a skin, so I used it, although it gives me no stats. Once again, a silencer that does not modify your concealment, at least not negatively. Then the Deagle scope mount that you can later on put on the side, that gives you more accuracy and stability. The gadget, once again laser, something that does not give you minus concealment. The grip, the bling grip, that gives you +1 concealment. The other one gives you -1, so don't take it. Don't take the extended magazine, it's not necessary. And also don't take the slide, because it gives you just minus concealment as well. Then the equipment is going to be the body bag case usually. I've told you do now have the option to get ECM jammers, or actually even go with the trip mine, however you don't have the laser on them. So either go with the body bag case or the ACM jammer, or eventually, if you do have this skills unlocked to activate the laser, can go for trip mines. It's pretty much up to you. I recommend going with the body bag case all the time, because as told, if you're soloing it, you probably need body bags. Or otherwise you gotta push those guards around corners so that they cannot get detected by other people. Then armor, pretty much fast forward, 2-piece suit, because it gives you most concealment. That's pretty much it. There's one more thing about performance. If you do have the completely overkill pack DLC, the Mega Chains mask is going to affect performance. I never had issues with any other. Actually, I had no issues with all the masks, but some people do have performance issues with the completely overkill pack masks, especially the Mega Chains masks, for whatever reason, because probably of the effects that they have. So if you have performance issues, just don't go with those masks probably, and try it out with some other default masks. So that's pretty much all you need to know about the setup. Now, if you're going into heist, I'm not going to stealth through the heists now. Instead, I'm giving you some tips. Basically, first thing you gotta learn when you stealth a heist for the first time, you gotta look how the map looks like. You gotta get to know the objectives you need to know. And the very first thing you need to know is how are guards going to move, if there's guards on the map, of course. Usually there is. What is their patterns? Where are they moving to? Where's safe spots to take them out, or where's safe spots for your shotgun to push them through? And then you also gotta come up with an order what you wanna do first. Each 4 stores, there's 4 stores, 2 stores having 1 guard each, and all stores having cameras. So you wanna check out like, which store should I go for first? Where can the camera spawn? Where can I push the guard, or like what times do I have? There's really a lot of things you gotta learn about the heist. As told, first thing, just go for the guards' patterns. Get them to know where they're moving to, where's the cameras that can detect them, and where's safe spots where like no civilians are coming in or no other guards coming in, or just a few that you can take them down or tie them down or whatever. So it's like going to cause a chain reaction alerting the entire map, which is going to be real trouble for you. There's some heists where it's going to be really easy, like Chivalry Store, and there's some other heists where it's going to be really hard, like the Bomb Dockyard, or the Alessia heist, or especially the Gold and Green Casino, which is the most horrible performance issue heist you can actually have. So if you're playing the Gold and Green Casino, don't worry, you will likely have performance issues. But yeah. I think that's pretty much everything I can tell you by now. If you still have any questions, just make sure to post them in the commentaries and I'll go to answer them. So I hope that helped some guys already for general solo stealthing on Deathish difficulty. And I hope to see more stealthers up there in Payday 2. Thanks for watching.